Mr. Ruby Walsh and Ms. Lydia Hislop cordially invite you, the roadies, to join us every Thursday night at 9 o'clock because Road to Cheltenham is back, Ruby, and we've already had some action so far this season.
We surely have. Started in Wetherby, rolled on to Down Royal. Plenty in between as well, Lydia. It's great to see some big names back on the track and some rain, which was badly needed, more required, but we're getting there. And I think we'll make it a lot more road and maybe a little less Cheltenham. What do you think?
I think we were always focused on the key events all the way along, and I think it's already building towards the excitement of the first half of the season. We'll be looking ahead to the November meeting at Cheltenham this weekend, all the action in Ireland as well. We've had a bit of each so far. We've had Brave Man's Going coming back and looking impressive in the Charlie Hall, and Envoy Allen popping up as well.
Yeah, I had Envoy Allen written off, so kind of great to see him coming back. Maybe it was on my own, but I definitely had written Envoy Allen off. So
I was with you.
Fair play to Henry de Bromhead. Conflated was in there as well. Old Kenboy, Galvin, bit to pick out of him. But yeah, that was a cracking race. And you had obviously Brave Man's Game, a High Senior blew out, but we'll have a look as to why that happened or why maybe it could have happened. But look, you had a few more, and then you had Nappers Hill down in So Royale at Wincanton. What a performance out of him. Is there another one to throw into the champion hurdle mix? Time will tell.
Well, I mean, the champion hurdle is one of the focuses of the season coming up, and all the way along. I doubt Honeysuckle is going to clash horns with Constitution Hill until Cheltenham, but we'll be able to see what the two of them do during the course of the season in the meantime, and whether there's anything else that can pop up and make it more than just a 2-horse race.
Yeah, obviously, look, you have Vauban, who was very good last year. Maybe State Man, who ended up winning a Grade 1 at Punchestown after being given a very attractive mark at the festival. But look, there could be a few more. Obviously, look, Night Salute, he's been putting the 4-year-old form to test. Pied Piper's been out twice, but what has he achieved? There's loads of good ones. And American Mike from the novices already. Have we seen a possible star novice chaser at Merge yet? I can't think one off the top of my head, but by Thursday we might have found one.
Yeah, we might well have done. We'll have a good look at that division. The other obvious division to think about is the 2-mile chasers, Energumen and Shishkin, the rematch. They've both got one call over each other. And then there's a certain Fernie Hollow as well, if he can stay sound.
Yeah, I think we'll focus on Fernie for the road, because as a brave person to suggest she's going to get much further than that.
Well, but there's road and there's beyond the road as well for Energumen. Coming back in the hilly way, potentially. Shishkin as well, after that diagnosis that found out that he'd got a rare bone condition. But the vibes seem to be positive from Nicky Henderson that he's on the road to recovery well.
Yeah, they most certainly do, but the vibes would want to be positive in early November for all horses. There's a few gone by the wayside already, but the vibes are good for Shishkin, Energumen. Edward Stone, will see him this weekend, I think, in the Schlur Chase against Nube Negra. So yeah, good starting point for him. And like every weekend, it rolls from one weekend to the next. Obviously, you've Cheltenham this weekend, then you've got Head up the following weekend, and a brilliant card at Punchestown. Rolls on to Coral Gold Cup. Excuse my tongue. At Newbury, I get it right, but you've got Fairyhouse then as well. It's just every weekend there's brilliant racing, and we are going to try and preview and review as we go, Lydia, I think, are we?
Yeah, that's absolutely the plan. I'm really excited about the idea of Allaho coming over for the King George. We might see him in the Clonmel Oil Chase before then as a stepping stone. That's going to be fantastic.
That would be fantastic, yeah. I mean, when you have a horse of Allaho's calibre, it would be great to see him go and have a go at the King George. That is the plan. Obviously, a lot of things have to go to plan for him to get there, but if you start out with the plan and you have an aim, maybe he will get there.
And Galopin des Champs has got the Gold Cup circled on his calendar, but at Plutar will be hoping to see him reprise that fabulous performance in the Betfair Chase that he managed last season.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to have massive opposition in the Betfair Chase. Protectorate looks to stand out to take him on, but when you're as good as a Plutar, of course people are going to run away from you.
What did we learn from last season, do you think, primarily? What are you taking away from last season that you're going to bear in mind more or less this season?
I don't know. Obviously, the English horses definitely had a couple of standout novices. but the strength and depth does still seem to be in Ireland. It's the start of it. The tide has started the turn, or seemed to start the turn last year. But I think English racing, they're going to need more this year to keep the tide flowing back that direction.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, we've got L'Empressé, a horse in your, notwithstanding that run that you've mentioned, Brave Man's Game bouncing back, Constitution Hill, John Bon. I mean, there are horses there to be excited about, but I think you're right. I think it needs to be more in number. So we'll be looking for a sort of strong novice hurdling game. I think one thing that I'm going to bear in mind is that, at the start of the season, you see all these stable tours and there's sort of targets penciled in by the trainers, and you just have to remember, but that is mutable. That can change, just like we do when we're following horse racing and we're, excited by what we've just seen and we analyse it and think about what it means going forward. The trainers and connections are doing exactly the same. So, these targets are not set in stone. I think that's something that has to be borne in mind.
It does, but I think results show you that. I mean, has Galvin's targets already changed after a poor run in Down Royal? You would think so. Will he be rerouted now and looked upon as maybe a Grand National horse? Could you see him having a couple of more runs to see if he could come down a few pounds to maybe have an attractive weight in the Grand National? So every week the story evolves, the picture evolves, and targets change. And I think by keeping targets some way fluid, people don't get as annoyed when targets change.
Well, I think that's kind of my point, partly because we had some last minute sort of switcheroos from what everyone was expecting, say from Willie Mullins just before the festival. I'm thinking about where Sir Gerhard went and when Dysart Dynamo went, and where Gallopin de Chong ran and all of those kind of things.
Come on, if you're watching Road to Cheltenham, how many times did we tell you Gallopin de Chong was going to go 2.5? If only you listened.
We did. Well, we did. We haven't, far be it from us to blow our own trumpet. I think that.
Which one did we get spectacularly wrong then?
Oh, there's got to be loads that we got spectacularly wrong. I mean, there's just this is a short promo. We don't have time to list all the things that we got completely wrong. Tweet us, email in, and tell us and remind us. But I'm sure there's lots of things that we got absolutely spectacularly wrong. That's part of the fun of it, though, isn't it? You can't be bang right if you're not bang wrong sometimes.
No, but I think if we can possibly give lots of people enough information, they can all make their own opinions and see how right or wrong they are.
Absolutely. I mean, I was pleased to be L'Empressé fans from a long way out last season. It's amazing, isn't it, how the brain edits out the things that you got wrong. It's all I can remember are the positive things.
Oh, here, that's just the way it goes, isn't it? But yeah, look, and there will be. Hopefully, we have some. Look, obviously, you have Constitution Hill and possibly Honeysuckle as two huge horses to take each other on in the Champion Hurdle Division, 2 miles all the way, and they won't meet until March. But I think the Gold Cup division could be equally as strong with some really good novices coming out of that last season.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. I think there's lots of different strong novice chasers for whom, if you take their best runs and you can forgive some of their slightly lesser ones, you can make a very, very strong case for all the top staying chasing targets this season. I think that's going to be a really exciting division. As ever, the staying hurdle division is wide open, isn't it?
It is. But if you train Flooring Porter, you're probably thinking, why do people not give him the credit he deserves?
Fair point. But everyone, I mean, you keep reading trainers that are saying, oh, well, we're thinking about going down the stairs route because that looks more open than anything else. But you're absolutely right. I mean, Flooring Porter has been dominant.
That's the same every year. So, and even people dropped horses back to take on the mighty Bun Bucks. People just keep seeming to think that that's the weak division till you go and try and win it, and then it proves very, very difficult.
I noticed that Willie Mullins has said that he hasn't completely made up his mind with certain horses whether he's going chasing or hurdling yet. I mean, so we're still we're still sort of feeling our way through what we might be able to expect.
Yeah, I think that, look, obviously Sir Gerhard Stateman, what he does with the two of those, will you stay hurdling, will they go chasing, and Classical Dream, I think they're about the three that Willie's at a bit of a crossroads with. But it's 4 days to the Fishery Lane. That's Vauban anyway, or possibly Vauban. It's only 2 weeks to the Morgiana. Yeah. So you get an idea fairly soon as to what's going to go where.
Yeah, things are going to start happening really thick and fast. I love this time of the year. I love this time of year because you just learn so much so quickly and you have to assimilate it quite quickly. Obviously, the one thing that we want from everybody, our roadies, is to make sure that they email in or tweet us with their opinions and what they would like to see in the show, what they think is happening, and whether we've got something else completely bang wrong.
Yeah, how much rubbish we are talking. Send them all to Lydia. I won't be reading them anyway.
This is so true. He doesn't read them. He just doesn't read them. I'm the PA.